Welcome back, everybody, to Military Family Investing. All right, so today we're going to pull up my article Series I bonds versus Roth IRAs versus HSAs versus 529 savings plan. And this is the best way to save for your children. As you know, college is very expensive, life is very expensive. So anything that we can do to assist our kids in getting ahead, we should try to do. We should make it a goal of ours to do it. I have two kids. One is 16, one is 13. So let's take a look. Life is good when you understand finances. All right. As parents, if you don't have the information, it's almost guaranteed your kids won't have the information, or they're going to be very hampered or severely delayed in learning the information. All right. So we must take it upon ourselves to get ahead ourselves so that we can help them out. Okay. Time is precious, meaning the sooner you get a pot of money going for your kids, the better. Also, that includes real estate, business, whatever. The sooner, the better, always, because time is the number one factor of wealth. Okay, so I'll put my kid was 17. He's 16, I think. Okay, now we want to harness the power of compounding through these different investments. So let's break them down real quick. Series I bonds. All right, that's through the Treasury Direct. Now, you can invest for somebody else as soon as they have a Social Security number. So when your kid turns 0 in 6 months, they get their Social Security number, you can open a Treasury account for your kid, and you can put up to $10,000 in each per year in each Treasury Direct account. So if you have a family of 4, you can put 10,000 times 4, 40,000 as a family into the various accounts. Okay, so that's probably your best way to save from the start, because you don't have any restrictions on how you can spend that money 30 years later. And if you do decide to use on education, then there are certain tax benefits for that. All right, they're very specific, but you can pull out that money tax free if used well. Okay, for Series I bonds. Roth IRAs. Now, the trick with Roth IRAs is you can't invest unless you have earned income, meaning you have a job. Okay. Now, if you have a business, you could do it as well through I think it's called a SEP IRA. However, for the most part, you had to have a job to invest. So your kid's probably not going to have a job till he's 16. However, when they turn 16 and they make $6,000 that year, you can invest $6,000 that year. Get the Roth IRA going as soon as possible, because in the long run, the Roth is going to be very powerful because the money coming out is tax free. Okay. So that's your Roth. Again, for the most part, you're going to have to wait till they turn 18 and they have a job to start putting money in. But they don't have to put their money in. They can put up to the limit. So if they make over 6,000, they can invest 6,000 in there. So you're probably going to have to help them out for Roth. Okay, HSA, health saving accounts. Okay, they are triple tax advantage, meaning the money going in can be written off on taxes. It grows tax deferred, and when you take the money out, it's tax free as long as you use it with a qualified medical expense. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that these are very powerful tools. So it's very hard to get into a HSA. So when your kid gets off of your plan, say 21 for TRICARE, it's 21. Once he gets off my plan, it's beneficial for me to help him open up a HSA, get his account going, and drop whatever the maximum is that year, 4,000, whatever. Now, the powerful thing about HSA is that they have a maximum amount that you can spend out of the HSA. So again, if you spend from age 21 to 31, building up, $150,000, and the limit you can spend as a family is, say, 8,000, you're golden. Your money's always going to keep growing. All right. It's just very hard to get into that HSA and keep it going. Now, once you get into HSA and you let it grow for, say, 3 years, and then you want to go, my kid joins the military, the HSA is still there. Okay. And you can use it for anybody that you're dependent on so even though you're growing the money tax free for yourself, say Joshua's HSA, I can still use it for my wife and my kids as long as they're dependent on my tax returns and it's medical qualified expenses. And the super kicker is once you turn 59, you can use the money outside of medical, but you're just going to pay taxes on it. So it turns into a traditional IRA pretty much. So there's a lot of benefits, but the hard part is getting into these things, getting super spun up on HSAs. They're very difficult to get into. There's a lot of rules, restrictions, knowledge. So, you might want to consult somebody else. Or I read the book, and then I would read multiple more books if I was trying to get into it. And so my kid's he's 16. I got a few more years. TRICARE kicks him off at 21. So I got about 5 more years. And then as soon as he hits that mark, get some HSAs going and just get him started. Because when you're 59, it's going to be a huge money. And another kicker is you can use those premiums. You can pay your long-term care premiums out of your HSA. All right. So you can't pay long-term care, but the insurance for long-term care you can pay out of your HSA. So very powerful long-term. And then finally is a 529 plan, if I can find it. Somewhere in there. There it goes. 529 savings account. Okay, so they're run by your state. And I would consider these for super high net worth people who are looking for tax benefits. There are tax benefits. I don't know about going in. I don't know about the money going in is tax free, but I know you can use the money tax free coming out for school. So there are a lot. So if you have access $1 million and you're looking for tax breaks and that like additional things, then yeah, this is probably a good vehicle for you. But I wouldn't make it my first vehicle, because if your kid doesn't want to go to school, it's kind of locked in. I think you could transfer it. Don't quote me on that. I think you could transfer it to another kid, but it has to be used for education. So you're kind of locked in. And I think that the other methods are better from my stance, because I'm not rich. From my stance, I think there are some better options. But if I'm netting $1 million a year, then I probably would look for more tax shelters and breaks going on. So now my overall strategy, of course, if you haven't noticed, all my versus articles always say a combination. Okay. Except for the annuities. You don't really need annuities. Okay. So, but combinations, right? So the best thing to do starting off would probably be your Series I bonds. Start those off. See if you can get to 10,000 a year, right? That's tough. Okay. That's tough, but possible. Okay. So that's going to set you up for success. All right. And then HSAs and Roth IRAs. Okay. Those are later on. Okay. Now, if you have a high net worth and you have the extra resources, like seriously, like if you want to lock your money up and pray that your son or daughter turns 18 and want to go to college, then you can use the 529. But it's a long shot. College isn't probably what it used to be per se in terms of necessity. There's a lot of other options. So I think having a random pot of money and being smart, that's the thing with everything. Being smart, allotting your kid space for them to stay home while they go to college, save money, make sure that they're saving money into different accounts, getting their own compounding going, being smart with their HSAs, their health and care, adding to their Series I bonds, all that stuff, all those little things are going to pay off dividends. All right. Because I think when I turned 18, I was an idiot and, bought a car at 18% and blah, 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 man. Just everything was out of whack because I didn't have the information. Okay. So just by preventing them from going off the ledge when they turn 18, it's going to already help. So anything you can do, even if it's $5,000, even if you save $5,000 when they turn 18 and they can get that into a Roth IRA, man, even that, just compounding that alone is going to be a nice sum of money by the time they turn 60. Okay. So my overall strategy is I have some Series I bonds for my kids. I do dividend stocks for them. They have a house each. I have three properties. So they each have a house if they need be. So that combination, and I'm going to continue trying to grow. My next thing to tackle would be the HSAs for my oldest. Okay. When he turns 21. So I'm going to make sure I'm set up for that. So again, being rich and getting wealthy and being financially free isn't about one major decision. It's about using these things and moving in a positive direction. Eventually, it's going to pay off, right? You're really compounding your decisions. It's not even compounding money. You're really compounding your decisions. Okay. Little decisions compound into big results. Okay. So that's the true power of compounding. If inflation's happening and your budget for food was $1,000 before inflation happened, yeah, you can up your budget to $1,500. Cool. But if you take the time and find a way to stay at $1,000, that money you're not spending on inflation while everybody else is inflating and the market's down, if you could put that extra $200-$300 into the market instead of spending it on food and figuring it out, taking the time to do that, that's the power. Okay. That's the power of life right there. The power of compounding. All right. So, learn these terms, use them, but don't beat yourself up if you can't put 10,000 in a year or you can't fund 4,000. I mean, even putting 500 into an HSA at 18 is massive. All right. Because did you have $500? Somebody put $500 into your HSA when you were a kid? Probably not. All right. So again, our kids' struggle will be different than ours. But that doesn't mean that we should send them off and struggle from financial zero, ground zero again, just so they can learn on the back end. All right. Once they have a baseline and a basic understanding of life, they're going to have their own struggles. But that might be growing a business, getting married, having 5 kids, 10 kids, having a farm. But it shouldn't be, where's my next meal? Oh, I broke my arm. I have no medical. Okay. Let's make sure we take care of those little things and then move forward. Okay. That's not proving anything to anybody by basically struggling just because we want them to prove something. There's nothing left to prove. All right. Staying married, keeping your family together is the proof. That's it. There's nothing else in life that's more important. All right. With that, go ahead. So the book is on Kindle Unlimited. So you can go read that for free. The article, of course, is for free. So read the article, follow the links, take the time. You'll learn a lot. I learned a lot. And that's why I keep writing, so I can keep learning. Okay. With that being said, I'm off. Thank you.